During the decade of the 60s, it was a very turbulent time. We had the Vietnam War, we had campus riots all across the country, assassination of some of our most famous leaders. At that same time, there was a ray of hope, a ray of light, if you will, called the NASA space program. In our space race against the Russians to see who would be the first country to put a person on the moon, the Mercury 7 were the beginnings of that space race. And the Mercury 7 were the 7 original astronauts. And these people were trained to take on any kind of foreseeable circumstance that they might be confronted with. So they were tested, and they were put through grueling exercises. A good sales training program does the same thing. It tests them. It challenges them. Unlike the old sales training of what I'd call yesteryear. In fact, I still remember some of the old tests. There used to be a question on an old sales training test back in the 60s, as a matter of fact. They would ask a salesperson, you've just gone to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and you come back from the trip, and you tell your boss you're convinced that no one lives in Green Bay, Wisconsin on this ice-frozen tundra except football players and hookers. He then informs you his wife is from Green Bay. What do you do? Choice A is ask what number she wore. The bottom line is there's no way out of that. You're in deep trouble. And good sales training not only prepares you for areas that you could get in deep trouble, hopefully it helps you avoid those areas in a more realistic way, not in just a funny way. These 7, or the Mercury 7 that I'm about to share with you, are 7 specific strategies that will help you partner with your clients in a way that you've never done before. If you execute these, I guarantee you, you will be much closer, and the revenue that will be produced out of that relationship will be far greater. Why? Because these strategies are being executed in stations across America with phenomenal results. Let's look at the 7. Number 1, know their expectations. Understand that no one buys spots. No one buys spots. No one woke up this morning and said, man, I need 30s and 60s. What they said is, I need store traffic. I need increased sales. I need something, but it's not spots. See, no one buys products and services. No one, let me say that again, no one buys a product or service. What they buy is what that product or service does for them. For example, no one buys clothes. What you're buying is a look or an image. No one buys a hot tub. You're either buying relaxation, a social spot to gather, or you're buying stress relief. Some people buy it, frankly, for medical reasons, for their back and other body parts. So there's a lot of reasons why I might have a hot tub, but they are all different. The question is, what are their expectations when they buy that hot tub? In a very similar fashion, when someone buys a schedule from you, they're not buying spots. They're buying increased sales, better margins, image, something, but it's not spots. So the question is this: to have a great partnership, and number 1 of the Mercury 7 in forging these strategic alliances with your customers is, do you know their expectations? How will they measure success? If you don't know that, you're in big trouble. Roy Williams, the famed wizard of ads, says in one of his books that the most important question you could ever ask is, how will you measure success? Because if they can't tell you now, they're never going to be able to tell you. In fact, you'll never be successful with that client because it's going to keep changing. How will they measure success? What are their expectations from you when they run a schedule? If you don't know that, you're in trouble. You need to know expectations ahead, before the schedule runs, not after it's run and then have the big debate. Knowing what they expect before one spot has ever hit your airwaves is a crucial strategy in terms of partnering. And it's the first of the Mercury 7. The second key strategy is showing the client how to get results. If they don't know how to measure results or get results, it's showing them how. There's only 2 formulas for success in radio with your clients today. We covered both of those very thoroughly in tape number 5, Rocket Fuel. Those 2 formulas are the only way that your client can get success, brilliant, awesome, unbelievable success in radio today. So showing them those formulas and sharing, by the way, success that other clients have experienced by using those formulas are great ways to build the credibility and build the trust with your client that you know what you're doing and you're about to help them on a path that others have already gone down and seen great results. The third key principle of the Mercury 7 is to sell solutions, not spots. Fully 25% or less of your time should be spent at the very most, talking about your station, your products, your services. But fully 75% or more of that time together with your client should be spent talking about their needs, their pain, and your solutions for their needs, or how you're going to relieve that pain. 75% on them, 25% or less on you. That's a great ratio in terms of where the time is spent in your relationship with your client. Step number 4, or the fourth point of the Mercury 7, is this: thank you notes, or any other small, thoughtful gesture. Now, I can't spend enough time on this, frankly, and we all say, oh yeah, we all send thank you notes. I'll do my seminars and I'll say, how many of you guys send thank you notes? Everyone raises their hand. Here's the problem. I'll do a retail seminar with clients and say, hey, how many of you retailers get a thank you note? Less than 20% raise their hands. Here's what's even more phenomenal. Of those 20%, I'll say, on average, how many thank you notes do you guys get? And they'll say 2 or 3. Now, either the U.S. Postal Service is really bad, or we've got a communication gap here. I'm willing to bet that we don't send out near as many thank you notes as we should be sending out. And these are such powerful selling tools. Believe me.